he's the most scary contender we've had for a while because there are just so many unknowns. Like, you know, when I was a kid and I would watch The Undertaking, he's from Parts Unknown or Death Valley. No, Mankind was from Parts Unknown. I'm like, where's this dude from? Even though I knew he was Cactus Jack. I knew he was Cactus Jack. I knew underneath it all it was Cactus Jack. It was like, what is this? Like, it's like Khamzat. There's just so many questions. And every time he comes in, he dominates, he's gone. Now,
UFC legends and big-name analysts have never been shy about sharing their opinions, but when it comes to Khamzat Chimaev, the tone changes. This isn't casual praise. This is all mixed with caution. In today's UFC, everyone knows Chimaev is dangerous, but some of the sport's most respected voices believe he could go beyond dangerous into legendary territory. Not just one of the greats, but the greatest to ever step inside the Octagon. And one of those voices belongs to Daniel Cormier. Back in 2022, Cormier called him the scariest contender we have seen in a long time. At the time, many thought it was a bold, maybe even exaggerated statement, but after Chimaev's destruction of Robert Whittaker at UFC 308 and his clinical stoppage of Kamaru Usman at UFC 294, that statement looks less like hype and more like a prophecy coming true.
To be the guy at welterweight, is he going to be the guy to dethrone Kamaru Usman?
I think he's the scariest contender we have seen for a while. And look, the odds...
Cormier later pulled back the curtain even further on his assessment. He admitted he liked Chimaev's friendly public image with Darren Till, but warned it might be a mistake. His reasoning mystery, in his words, I'd pull the curtain back as little as I could if I were him, because the mystery is good for him's very scary. That's when you understand what Cormier is really saying. Chimaev's power doesn't only come from his skill set, comes from the way he's perceived, his scarcity in the media, his unpredictability in fights, his ability to appear calm and then unleash chaos. All of it creates an aura that's almost as dangerous as his punches and chokes.
Whole buddy thing with Darren Till, I think it's a mistake. I think he should continue to be a mystery to people. I think he should spend as little time in front of the public and showing who he is, pulling the curtain back. I would pull the curtain back as little as I could if I'm Khamzat, just because the mystery is good for him. But yes, he's very scary. To say anyone will knock off Kamaru Usman is...
And Cormier isn't the only one ringing alarm bells. Joe Rogan has been just as vocal and just as intense. On one of his podcasts, Rogan broke down Chimaev's dominance with absolute conviction. Once he gets a hold of you, it's so dangerous. He didn't get touched. He ran through him and strangled him in the first round. That guy's a scary ass. __. That grappling is next level. Rogan wasn't talking about a random prospect, was talking about a man who makes world-class fighters look like they don't belong in the same cage. To Rogan, the danger isn't just in the takedown, it's in how helpless you feel once you're caught.
From downtown too. He shot
fast.
so far out.
Once he gets a hold of you, it's so dangerous.
He just needs to get his paws.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Right here. Right. See, it's around the mouth.
That's around the mouth. That's around the jaw.
That was weird.
That's around the jaw.
Real deal.
He might be the guy, dude.
He might be that guy. And this is the best time to be a fan. When the guy's coming up, there's nothing better.
And here, think about this: 85, right? So this guy was killing himself to get to 70. At 85, he's the fucking man.
In another broadcast, Rogan went even deeper, describing Chimaev as a terrifying human being, someone who ragdolls elite opponents and dismantles top-tier wrestlers with ease. Brendan Schaub added fuel to the fire with his own story. After hearing Darren Till talk about the monster in the gym, Schaub said, holy __. Khamzat is the real deal. He looked at me during sparring and I pretended I wasn't watching. I just stared at the wall. I felt like such a __. That's not fight night hype. That's the kind of respect you only get from people who have seen something up close and personal. Even in training rooms full of killers, Chimaev changes the energy.
He's the most scary contender we've had for a while because there are just so many unknowns. Like, you know, when I was a kid and I would watch The Undertaking, he's from Parts Unknown or Death Valley. No, Mankind was from Parts Unknown. I'm like, where's this dude from? Even though I knew he was Cactus Jack. I knew he was Cactus Jack. I knew underneath it all it was Cactus Jack. But it was like, what is this? Like, it's like Khamzat. There's just so many questions. And every time he comes in, he dominates, he's gone. Now, I love the whole buddy thing with Darren Till. I think it's a mistake. I think he should continue to be a mystery to people. I think he should spend as little time in front of the public and showing who he is.
As of August 6, 2025, Chimaev's record is spotless 140, with 8 UFC finishes and victories over names that most fighters would dream about having on their resume. Now all eyes are on UFC 319, where hell-faced middleweight champion Dricus Du Plessis and Chicago fans have been calling for this fight ever since Chimaev's rise. And it's finally happening, but Harris think Chimaev isn't coming into this as just another challenger. He's coming in as the boogeyman of the division, the man who handled Whitaker. And Usman, with an authority usually seen in champions who have been at the top for years. Cormier's once bold statement about Chimaev now has hard evidence behind it.
Scariest guy in the UFC, or one of the scariest, is from Chechnya, Khamzat Chimaev. He is a fucking animal. The amount of grappling power you have to ragdoll Kevin Holland like this is insane. I mean, this is crazy grappling ability. The way he rotates with him, and here it is. Here's the Darce. So he sinks up the choke and slides it through. Watch his right hand. His right hand's going to reach forward and grab a hold of his bicep. Watch how this is when he sends it. See it slides down?
Yeah.
When the right hand, right now it's still open. Now it clamps. Now it's on the bicep.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's the choke. The choke's fully locked in now, and Kevin's...
damn.
Schaub's story proves something stats can't. How Chimaev makes other fighters feel that's the part that can't be measured in numbers. And as the date approaches August 16th, there's a shift in the conversation. Du Plessis isn't just facing a fight, he's facing a dare from the legends of the sport. Yes, Du Plessis is a beast in his own right. Relentless gas tank, awkward striking rhythm, a highlight reel full of finishes over elite competition. But ask around in analyst circles, and you'll hear if this fight isn't just about skill, it's about whether Du Plessis can survive the kind of pressure that breaks people before the first round is over.
Am I a prisoner of the moment? I feel like DDP Khamzat is one of the greatest middleweight competitions to ever happen in the UFC. You got Khamzat undefeated, boogeyman, DDP already a middleweight great in the prime of his career. I have no clue how this is going to fold out. No clue. Gun to the head, DDP is so good, so durable, so big, and just finds a way to win. He's just an absolute winner. He's one of my faves. And he's so unorthodox. And you have Khamzat, this boogeyman. Obviously, cardio was an issue for him back in the day. I'm here to tell you now, I've personally, with these peepers, have seen the man train. Cardio is not an issue. But that's all predicated on... Let's say Khamzat goes in there and tries to get DDP down in the first 2 rounds and can't get it done, and he gets tired. DDP in that 3rd, 4th, and 5th will finish him, you know? So I'm interested to see what Khamzat's game plan is.
If Cormier is correct about Chimaev's fear factor, and if Rogan's read on his grappling holds true, then Du Plessis will need to win 2 battles in one night: the physical fight and the psychological one. It's rare for fighters to walk into the octagon knowing the most respected voices in MMA are already calling their opponent a monster. That kind of mental weight, it can slow your hands, drain your energy, and make every mistake more dangerous.
It's tremendous. He's got the swagger. He's got the fighting ability. I'm a fan. I'm a massive fan of Khamzat.
I would love to sit in that fighter meeting when you guys get to do the interview with those guys before the fight, man. I would love to see that conversation.
Put all these voices together, Cormier's, Rogan's, Schaub's, the image is undeniable. Khamzat Chimaev is operating at a level almost no one in MMA history has touched. His wrestling, pressure, knockout power, and cold, calculated aggression have set a new standard for what dominance looks like in the UFC. As August 16th draws closer, the questions get sharper. Can Du Plessis drag him into deep water? Can he force scrambles, survive the early storm, and test Chimaev's gas tank? Or will Chimaev once again dismantle another elite name before the audience has even warmed up in their seats? If he crushes Du Plessis like he did Whitaker, expect Cormier and Rogan's quotes to echo in MMA history for years. But if Du Plessis wins, he won't just keep his belt, he'll be the man who silenced the UFC's scariest narrative in recent memory. Either way, UFC 319 won't just decide a tight light, will decide whether the legend of Khamzat Chimaev is unstoppable or if even monsters can be beaten.